All right. We're gonna see. Vic Fangio. I like that answer.
Yes, sir.
So the next question we got is this. A famous question.
Mhm.
Who has the most to gain? A win in this game. So AJ, we'll kick it off with you.
Joe,
Who-
I've been going back and forth on this for a good minute, bro. I feel like you know where I'm gonna go, but this is where I'm gonna start.
Okay.
I almost had to flip the question. I almost had to put the question in reverse to come up with the answer for me. Who has the most to lose? I kind of had to flip it for that to come up with the answer. Because when I think about the Chiefs, bro, unless you're going to tell me, and we had this discussion off record, we probably touch on it again for this show. Unless you're going to tell me that Patrick Mahomes winning this Super Bowl is going to make him the GOAT, I don't think he has the most to gain. Because I ultimately believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to get this opportunity again. Maybe not a three-peat opportunity, but he's going to get an opportunity again to go to the Super Bowl and get another Super Bowl win. It is as close to a guarantee as any player has of getting to the Super Bowl in the modern day era. It's they're gonna be back. Andy Reid and those guys, they're gonna be back. So I kind of in a way had to take them out of the question because it's like, yeah, three-peat is great. Don't get me wrong. Maybe Andy Reid, you can make the argument for him. Maybe somebody will say Andy Reid is the GOAT, but then I just don't think they have a ton to gain because they're already legendary. I'll go to the Philadelphia side of things. First person that came to mind was Howie Roseman. But Howie Roseman already gets a ton of respect for all of the rosters that he's built. 3 Super Bowls in 7 years, right? You know, if he wins this year, to be 2 Super Bowl victories in 7 years, 3 basically completely different rosters, especially on defense. But he already gets his respect. He already wins Executive of the Year. I think he's already a Hall of Fame GM, right? So how much more can he earn, right? I think about Nick Sirianni. He's number 2 on the list for me. Nick Sirianni, I'm like, man, he would get a ton of respect. He'd be placed in a lot of different conversations, right? But the way I think about the Philadelphia Eagles as an organization, man, you could win the Super Bowl next year. They could fire you 2 years down the line if they don't like what they see. That's just how they move. That's what they basically did to Doug Peterson. Same can happen here. Even with a Super Bowl win, it's not like a situation like the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. He wins the Super Bowl, and it's like we go hold on, wins a few Super Bowls, and we go hold on to him for a lifetime, no matter what happens. That's not how Philadelphia moves. So even though he has a ton to gain, I'm not sure if he has the most to gain. And then I think about Saquon. Man, who don't have respect for Saquon? Playing behind this offensive line, 2,000 yards, putting up record-setting numbers in the playoffs. Most people think he's the offense right now. And I agree. Saquon Barkley is the engine that drives this offense right now. He's that guy. So, like, yes, the Super Bowl would give him a lot. But the most, he's already got respect. He's already probably going to be a Hall of Fame back when it's all said and done. I think Jalen Hurts got the most to gain, bro. When I put it in that context, I think Jalen Hurts may have the most to gain. When you think about his resume and what he has done, Joe, I'm about to say something extremely controversial. Extremely controversial. And I know it's going to sound like a homer thing to say. It's going to sound like, you're the biggest Jalen Hurts fan ever. How could you? Da, 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 da. Joe, I think if Jalen Hurts wins this Super Bowl, especially if he wins Super Bowl MVP on top of it, we're gonna start putting him in some interesting conversations. We're gonna start putting him back in that top 5 quarterback currently conversation again. I even think if he wins this Super Bowl, I think he might be building a Hall of Fame resume, Joe. As crazy as it sounds, I'm not talking about skill or talent. I know you trying not to laugh at me. I'm not talking about skill or talent. I know it sounds crazy, bro. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not talking skill. I'm not talking talent. We're not saying he's Aaron Rodgers. We're not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. We're not saying he's super talented. But when it comes to how much he has won, when it comes to the fact that he's already been an all-pro player, he's already been to multiple Pro Bowls. He's been to now 2 Super Bowls before he turns 27. With a win, that's now 1 Super Bowl win. He's 1-1 in Super Bowl appearances. Undefeated in Philadelphia. He'd easily go down as the greatest quarterback to ever play for Philadelphia. He'd be the first franchise quarterback that I can tell you trying not to laugh. He'd be the first franchise quarterback to win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. And on top of that, Joe, I know the passing numbers aren't immaculate, but the rushing numbers, I mean, the man is third all time right now, worse in touchdowns behind Josh Allen and Cam Newton. And in rushing yards, he's 13th. He's behind guys like Elway, McNabb, Aaron Rodgers, Steve McNair. I mean, these guys are pretty much done. And he's only, 400 to 500 yards behind Fran Tarkenton just to get in the top 10. I think that will put him at 9 before the age of probably 28. I think he has a really good chance at cementing himself right now in the league, gaining a lot more respect, not only nationally, but locally. And I think if he wins this, man, I mean, think about where we put Russell Wilson. 2 Super Bowls. Yes, the passing numbers are different, but 2 Super Bowls, 1 Super Bowl loss. He did it with an elite defense and an elite running game. Think about Eli Manning. Now, Eli Manning got 2 Super Bowls. So, like, this is why I say you got to build on it. You can't just end it right now. But Eli Manning got 2 Super Bowls. And in the 2 Super Bowls he has, he beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. Right now, you going that pat. Russell Wilson, he beat Peyton Manning. Like, those small things also matter. The opponent that you're going up against. So when you combine the wins with the numbers, with the accolades, I low-key think that Jalen Hurts has the most to gain by winning this Super Bowl, Joe.
AJ, I disagree with you, man. I like the angle you took, but I disagree with you.
My bad for interrupting. Your face the whole time was making it hard on me, bro. I was like, I know when I say this, he gonna be like, bro, I know, bro, but my bad. Go ahead.
When you said gonna be controversial, I didn't know where you were gonna go. But here's the thing. I see what you did. You took an angle where it's like everybody around Hurts gets respect. So therefore, Hurts should get the most respect if they win. Because he's been getting dirt thrown on him this whole time. And if they win with him and he wins Super Bowl MVP, all that stuff y'all been saying about him, now y'all better put him up to the top. I get that point of view. But Saquon, if he walk away from the game today, he ain't no Hall of Famer. There's a debate about that. If Saquon has an opportunity to be in the same season, 2,000-yard rusher, have the most rushing yards in NFL history in one season, playoffs and regular season combined, Super Bowl MVP, he's a Hall of Famer right there. Boom. Hall of Fame, put him in there. So Saquon has a whole lot to gain. And then I look at Hurts. You say he's building a Hall of Fame resume. It depends on
emphasis on building.
That's why
It's building.
The word building is like it's like that's the word, right? Building. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, so if Brock Purdy won last year, he's building a resume?
Not the same. Brock Purdy don't have no All-Pro nods, and he don't have as many Pro Bowl nods.
Brock Purdy didn't win All-Pro last year?
No, I thought it was
Dak
and Mahomes.
It was that.
Yeah.
But Brock Purdy would have been in the league for only 2 years. And in his first year, he got to the NFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. His second year, get to the Super Bowl. And if he wins Super Bowl MVP, that resume right there is probably that's legit. Off Bucks, you do this. But I would never say he's been a Hall of Fame resume, not just yet. And the reason why I say Hurts is tricky is because he legitimately has 1 year when he was considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Mm. And that was the All-Pro year. But outside of that year, he wasn't considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, like, his first time being a starter, he made it to the playoffs, overachieved, but he wasn't considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Last year, started off good. But then when they fell off, by the time they lost to the Bucks, he flew out the top 5. Remember, like, people had him in the top 5. Then he flew out.
Everybody had him number 1 for a good minute.
Yeah, like people respected Hurts, you know. But now Hurts is known for, like, he wins. That's like his motto now. Like, oh, he wins games. And then this season, he had his moments, but y'all been driven by Saquon Barkley. So he wasn't a driving force for y'all to get here. So that's why I want to say he was because when Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl, we want to talk about he didn't have an All Pro. I give you that. But me personally, I wasn't talking about he's building a Hall of Fame resume. It wasn't until after the Legion of Boom left, and then he started balling. Like offensively, the Seahawks started becoming a offensive first type team, and then he was always in the MVP conversation, but he just never finished the job off. So, and then now I don't think he's Hall of Fame right now. You know, he has to do something else. As a quarterback, yes. I mean, he got like one Super Bowl, and that's it on his resume for real. If you think about it, he don't have nothing else. He does have a Super Bowl compared to two of them, but that's it. So, but my biggest game though is Saquon Barkley. I think it's Saquon Barkley for sure because he will help y'all finish a job y'all couldn't finish the other year. He's the missing piece. He comes in here and changed the whole game for y'all, literally. And he's been y'all best player through the playoffs, which is crazy. I know Hurts was good. You know, Hurts was good. You could probably say Hurts was probably your best. I mean, it was a whole team. That whole team went crazy. But Saquon tipped it off. Like the Commanders had a long run, got a field goal. He just scored in the first play, bro. Like that was crazy. We saw what he did against Green Bay. We saw what he did against the Rams. Oh my gosh. Against the Rams, he went crazy. So I would say Saquon has the most of the game. But we talk about who in totality, it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs have
the Chiefs team.
Yes.
Okay.
They about to make history if they win, AJ. This is unheard of. We talking about a 3-peat. I think we are downplaying it so much because it's the Chiefs. We talking about a 3-peat in the NFL. Nobody has done that since the Packers doing the first two Super Bowls of the last championship. Like, that's the last time it happened. They won the championship game, then the Super Bowl era happened, then they won the first two Super Bowls. That's the last time somebody won 3 straight years. That's ridiculous, bro. In the NFL? Come on, man. And then on top of that, look who they beating, AJ. Name all the best teams in this Chiefs era. All of them. The Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, the 49ers. He slaughtered all of them. The Bengals, all of them. And believe it or not, to put the cherry on top, I said this on the R2L show. No, I said it on the backstage. It's hard to do a 3-peat alone, but I honestly believe this is the best team the Chiefs has faced since Mahomes has been here. Like, since Mahomes has been in the league, I'm talking about since he dropped in the league as a rookie, this is the best NFL team that he's faced. I'm talking about across the board. So if he caps off his 3-peat by beating this team, he will be the first team. No, dang, they lost the last game of the season. They messed it up. They could have been the first team to win 16 games and win the Super Bowl. They could have been the first team to ever do that. Could the Pacers win 16 and lost? I don't think a 15-1 team ever won. No, I think that'd be the first 15-1 team. I honestly think I gotta look it up. But and then some people will say he's the GOAT. I won't, but some people will put him in there as a GOAT. Because when Jordan won 3, everybody put him past Magic. They put him past Kareem when he won 3 in a row. So I think the Chiefs totality, but we talking about player. Come on, man, it's Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry.
I think when you say if we talk in totality, it's definitely the Chiefs. Like in total, if we talking like the complete team, I'm thinking we talking individual players or individual people. If we talking the whole team, it's the Chiefs because the 3-peat is history. Like it's never been done. It may not ever be done. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna ever be done. A little spoiler alert, but if they were to do it, it's probably never happening again. Like that's probably never happening again. And so that history, like obviously you have the most to gain. They could go down. Some people would think they're the best, the greatest dynasty of all time. That'd be a debate. And don't get me wrong, I think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and those guys have things to gain for sure. I just look at it from the perspective of, do we believe they're not going to get here again? There's a chance, and I'm an Eagles fan. So, of course, I'm going to say I believe we're going to get there again. But there's no comparison. The Chiefs have a greater chance of getting back here again than the Eagles do. I think that's just facts. Even though the Chiefs have greater competition in their conference. It's Pat. It's Andy Reid. Like, even if they lose this year, it's gonna be like, all right, they probably get back the next year. Like when we beat the Patriots in 2017, they went right back the next year and won. And it was just they moved, bruh, and they just moved right on, kept on winning. Like, all right, that was fun.
Hey, real quick to cut you off. I think I understand you coming from. Like the Chiefs are here. Like how much higher can they? How much more can they gain?
Exactly.
You know, you looking at it from like they are all Pat already been talking in the GO conversations. They are already a dynasty. So how much more are they gonna gain? The only thing they're gonna do is they're gonna make history. I get that, but we still gonna respect them kind of the same way.
Like if they lose the Super Bowl, ain't nobody changing their opinions on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Andy. Even if they go out there and they, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we know this won't happen. Let's say they go out there and they lay an egg and they just play terrible for the first time ever in the Super Bowl. They play terrible for 4 quarters, bro. Is anybody really gonna think much different about the Chiefs, bro?
Nah, no. More respect to y'all for real.
Like it's gonna be respect to us, but people gonna be like, I think people are probably still people gonna be like, man, the Chiefs gonna be so hungry going into next season. They're gonna have a chip on their shoulder. They're gonna get back. We go out there and do the same thing. People like Eagles done. They never going back. Jalen Hurts ain't the guy. Like everybody is going to like, especially it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to get blown out. You know what I mean? You get blown out. It's like man, people gonna be talking about the Eagles like they ain't even belong in the Super Bowl, right? And so that's how I'm looking at it, man. It's like the Chiefs have an opportunity. The individual players, now the Chiefs organization has the opportunity to go from here to all the way up here. You know what I mean? But the player, Pat Mahomes right now, to me, has a chance to go from here to here.
Yeah,
it's not a huge. Andy Reid, same thing, bro. He got a chance to go from here to here. Like, but when I think of Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen has a chance to go from here to here, bro. Like, I think he has a chance to make a leap in the conversations that a lot of people never thought he would be in. I'm talking from an overall like resume conversation and from, you know, just a top 5 conversation in the league right now. I just think the whole conversation around him changes.
I honestly don't think he'll be in the top 5.
I think this is the thing, bro. When you look at it from this perspective, and I don't want to disrespect any other quarterbacks, bro. But if he goes to the Super Bowl, and I don't know if he's going to play like how he did in the last Super Bowl. That was crazy. But if he goes to the Super Bowl and he wins this game, and it's not Saquon Barkley that does it, say Jalen Hurts is the reason, like you could point to him and be like, yo, Jalen won the game. He played lights out, didn't turn the ball over, and he came out and he won them this game, and he's Super Bowl MVP. It's going to be hard to keep him out, especially when you look at Lamar Jackson has had a similar opportunity. He ain't been able to do it. And they last year, they was held to 17 points, Joe, the Chiefs. Defense showed up. He didn't. That's just the truth. You look at Josh Allen. He got a chance to melt the clock down and get a win. He failed to do so. You look at Joe Burrow. He's struggling to get back into the playoffs, right? Like when you look at the elite guys that you put over him, yes, you would still have them over him. But after those elite guys, bro, who you gonna say Stafford better? You gonna say Herbert better? From a talent perspective, yes, you're always gonna say them players are better because it looks better, and I respect that. They have better arm talent. But my bad. I'm just gonna get this last.
No, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
But like to win the game, money on the line, we need you to play well. I think a lot of people are gonna have him in that probably 5th spot in the NFL.
Probably. See, the thing, Hurst is like it's sad to say, he's in like a lose-lose because, like, if he does play well, people will say it's because the attention's on Saquon. You know what I mean? So he's gonna lose credit because how good his team is. It's just keep it real. But I'm gonna ask you this though. This is why I think it's gonna be Saquon. If they lose, nobody's gonna kill Saquon, but they're gonna look at it like, dang, like even though y'all had a 2-week break into the Super Bowl, people gonna bring up the fact that y'all took a rest and he didn't go for the record. They're gonna bring that up. They're gonna say it was a wasted season. Like they're gonna talk about how good his season was, and y'all went all the way there and lost. Hurts, you said how much he gonna lose? How much more is he gonna get killed than he is right now? Like, bro, I know our game kind of put him back up to like the positive side of things. Our game did, but if y'all lose, it's gonna be the same old. It's gonna be the same old song. Like Hurts gotta be. It depends on how Hurts play though. If Hurts don't play, if he plays mediocre, then that's gonna be the case. But I doubt he plays mediocre. But I think like if the game would have lost and everybody plays well, Saquon everybody would feel bad for Saquon. Literally, like, dang, wasted season, 2,000 yards. He could have broke the record, but he sold it for a Super Bowl, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. But Hurts, it's gonna be. He has to play terrible for people to kill him. Like if he plays bad, if he plays good, they lose. They're gonna just chop it up to the Chiefs. Literally, it's gonna be like, yo, it's the Chiefs. Like,
yeah,
I can't get mad at the Eagles for losing to the Chiefs, bro. Like, I mean, we just saw Josh Allen do the same thing. We just saw Lamar do it last year. You know, like, come on.
That's valid.
So,
that's valid.
That's how I look at it.
I just look at it, and I want to get back to something else that you said before we move on to, I believe, the last two really quick. I respect the take, the Hall of Fame thing. I respect the take because you don't have Russell Wilson as a Hall of Famer. You probably don't have Eli as a Hall of Famer either. I would assume.
If Eli's in it, it's only because he beat Brady twice.
Yeah,
and he stopped the. See, the one good thing about y'all winning this, y'all will be stopping the three-peat. Because Eli gets a lot of credit for stopping that undefeated season. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So Eli Manning.
I respect that. I think a lot of people do have him in that, or not MVP, in that Hall of Fame conversation because Russell Wilson has a solid resume. I know Eli is iffy, but I think that if Jalen continues to play well and continues this trajectory of playing well, winning games, and winning playoff games, even if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, you'll always be able to look back and be like, all right, so later on in his career, he did this, and this. But then you can't forget about the fact that he won a Super Bowl. Like when they talk about Russell Wilson, they're going to talk about all of the stuff he did without LOB and all that. But it's always going to go back to, and he got a Super Bowl, and he got a Super Bowl MVP. So that's what I'm saying. You could set by winning this and winning Super Bowl. I don't know if he will, but winning this and winning Super Bowl MVP could really set him up to where you got now on the resume, you got an All-Pro nod, you have a Super Bowl ring, you got a Super Bowl MVP, you got one of the highest win percentages of anybody in the history of the game if you continue at this trajectory, and you got great rushing numbers, bro. He's going to finish with great quarterback rushing numbers. I know some of it will be tainted because of the tush push. I know that. But rushing yards going to be there too, which is going to make it hard. If he continues to do this, I think that's why it's like he's setting himself up. That's what I think. He's setting himself up.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you, because his rushing, he can arguably, based on the stats. I heard somebody say this. I listened to a podcast. He said he's arguably the best rushing quarterback in NFL history. I'm like, I mean, the numbers might say it, but come on, it's Lamar and Michael Vick. But like the numbers, if somebody was just look at the numbers, you can make a Hall of Fame case of he's the best running QB in NFL history. He'll be a Super Bowl champion. But if he gets the Super Bowl MVP, that's big.
It's huge.
There are not a lot of minority quarterbacks who wins Super Bowl MVP. There's not. Eli Manning did win it twice. Yeah. But outside of Eli Manning, I can't think of the last quarterback who won a Super Bowl MVP, and you looked at him like a pedestrian. So, and on top of that, back to your top 5 conversation, if he wins Super Bowl MVP, AJ, he might be that 5th spot for real, because Matthew Stafford, when he won the Super Bowl, people wouldn't consider him being top 5 because Cooper Kupp won MVP. Matthew Stafford didn't win MVP, so he didn't even get a lot of credit. And the Russell Wilson, the reason why I didn't have him in the Hall of Fame conversation because he didn't win Super Bowl MVP.
I thought he did. Who won that MVP then?
I mean, he lost. I mean, the defense. Somebody on the defense there. I can't even think who it was. Carl, help me out. Somebody on the defense won, bro. Like,
I definitely thought he won the Super Bowl MVP. I'm corrected.
Nah, it was a defense. The defense.
Okay.
Held the number 1 offense to 8 points. It's crazy.
Malcolm Smith. Oh, snap. He did. Yeah. He did. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So
that's what I'm saying. Hurts gotta have that. It's almost like you gotta have that though. So really given his passing numbers.
If he gets that, AJ, he might go on my top 5 for real. Because I respect Super Bowl MVP. I respect winning the whole thing and you being the reason. I respect that. And that's why I'm high on Jordan. He won every time. Him and LeBron, they're the only two that won every time 4 times or more and won MVP every time in the championship. That's why they my 1 and 2. That's so we know who number 1 is. But I'm with you on that though. It's another topic.
hey, I appreciate that. I didn't know you was gonna meet me there, but okay, cool.
I can see it because now I'm thinking about Super Bowl MVP. I'm like, okay, I give props. I give credit for Super Bowl MVP.
Yes, sir. Okay.